A fraction model is shown. The fraction represented in this model can be written in the form of 10. Select the numerator that would make this statement correct. Challenge. Explain how you know. Excellent. 4 is a brilliant choice. Which decimal represents the amount shown on the model? Challenge. On your recording sheet, write the amount as a mixed number. Good thinking. 2.2 is the right answer.
Tara's weight at birth was 8.328 pounds. What is Tyra's birth weight rounded to the nearest hundredth?
Excellent choice. 8.33 pounds is the right answer. True or false? This model is equivalent to 0.4. Challenge Luge. Explain why or why not on your recording sheet. Nice work. You chose false and it is correct. Mila has 100 math problems to finish this week. She solved 2/10 of the problems on Monday and 25/100 of the problems on Tuesday. How many problems did Mila solve on Monday and Tuesday? Valid point. 4/500 is true. 1 gallon is about 3.875 liters. What is this amount rounded to the nearest tenth? Good job. Your answer 3.9 works well here. After leaving the park, Austin drove 13.47 miles to the gas station and then another 5.8 miles home. How many total miles did Austin drive to get home after he left the park? Great job. 1927 is the accurate answer. A bricklayer brought 100 bricks to Carroll Elementary to edge the front sidewalk of the school. He used 96 of the 100 bricks, which shows how this amount can be represented. Well reasoned. 96/100.96 is the correct choice. Jaden found 80/10 of a dollar in change in his backpack. He found 15/100 of a dollar in change in his lunch bag. What fraction of a dollar in change did he find altogether? Clear logic. Your choice 9/5/100 is sound and 100% true. The grid represents one whole. What is the fractional value of the shaded area? Right again. 0.4 is a valid answer. Lead melts at 327.46 degrees Celsius. What is the value of the 6 in 327.46? Nice selection. 6/100ths is the correct and valid answer. How would you write the decimal for the shaded part of the picture? Perfect. 0.4 is the correct choice. Samantha and Grace are reading the same book. Samantha has read 0.6 of her book and Grace has read 0.6 of her book. Who has read the least amount of the book? Well picked. Neither is the correct answer. Sally and Kim were making cookies. Sally put 0.4 cups of sugar in her cookies and Kim put 0.38 cups of sugar in her cookies. Who put more sugar in her cookies? Smart move. Sally is an accurate answer. Which of the following represents the amount shaded in the model? You chose 1.9 and it is correct. Write the amount shown on the model as tenths in fraction form. Great thinking. 5/10 is the right choice. Stephen, Mike, and David were running in a relay race. Stephen ran 0.97 miles, Mike ran 0.9 miles, and David ran 0.93 miles. Who ran the least amount of miles? Smart pick. Mike is the correct choice. See the given image and find out red-colored part in decimal. Exactly. 0.15 makes sense, and it is right choice. This model is equal to 100. Click on the missing numerator. You got it? Your choice 90 is right. What decimal is shown by the shaded part of the model?
Bravo, 0.82 is the answer. Letty ran 5 laps around the track during PE class. It took her 12.87 minutes, which is a correct way to read Letty's time as a fractional number. Solid response. 12 and 87 hundredths is a valid choice. Write the word form for the amount shown in the model. Nicely done. 3/10 is a solid answer. What decimal represents point L on the number line? On track, 0.5 is the correct answer. Which decimal and fraction does the grid represent? Right choice. 0.5 and 100 is the best answer. Rosa has a bookshelf where she stores her book collection. 4/10 of her books are mystery books. What is this amount written as a decimal? Strong choice. 0.4 is the right answer. True or false, this model is equivalent to 0.4. You're right. False is the correct answer. Click all the answers that equal this fraction. Sharp thinking. 0.40 is the right choice. How many degrees will the temperature need to rise for it to reach 40 degrees Celsius in Chennai? The temperature in Chennai is 29.9 degrees. Correct response. 10.1 is the most accurate answer. Which decimal shows the part that is shaded? Correct, so 0.37 is the right answer. Sylvia has $100. She spent 40/10 of her money on a jacket and 20/100 of her money on jeans. What fraction of her money did Sylvia spend? Well done. 60/10 is the right choice. Leilani completed a walk last week. She walked 7/10 of the walk and the last 23rd 100 of the walk. How much of the walk did she walk? Well reasoned. 93/100 is the correct choice. Jim, Bob, and Jeff are running in a marathon. Jim runs 0.84 miles. Bob runs 0.48 miles. Jeff runs 0.8 miles. Who ran the farthest? Right choice. Jim is the best answer. Lena's auntie brought a present for her from China. It cost 30 yuan. Find what it costs in Indian rupees. Sharp thinking. 300 is the right choice. What does this picture represent? Perfect. 0.16 is the correct choice. This hole is divided into dash. Solid response. Hundredths is a valid choice. Convert this into a decimal. You're right. 3.3 is the correct answer. How many tenths altogether? Good thinking. Kenderbaj 10 is the right answer. Alicia won her 400-meter freestyle race by 4 and 25 hundredths seconds. How can you write this as a decimal? Clear logic. Your choice 4.25 is sound and 100% true. Which is equivalent to 5 and 8/10? Challenge. How could you write it as a mixed number? Exactly. 5.8 makes sense and it is right choice. Thomas weighed 1635 pounds at his last checkup. Between what 2/10 does this number fall? Excellent. 16.3 and 16.4 is a brilliant choice. True or false? A decimal fraction is a fraction that has a denominator with 10 or 100. You got it? Your choice true is right. Which of the following is equal to 25 and 69 thousandths? Nicely done. All of these is a solid answer. Which number has a 1 in the tenths place and a 9 in the hundredths place? Great job. 0.19 is the accurate answer. If a number was rounded to 35.7, what could have been the original number? Correct response. 35.68 is the most accurate answer. Choose the decimal written in correct word form for 62 hundredths. Well done. 0.62 is the right choice. Convert the following decimals into fraction respectively. 3.4b, 4.43. Nice work. You chose A, 340, 100b, 443d, 100, and it is correct. The value of the 4 in 45.1 is dash, then the value of the 4 in 0.451. Valid point. 100 times greater is true. Use equivalent fractions to change this fraction to a decimal. 1/2025. Strong choice. 0.48 is the right answer. Choose the fraction equivalent to 2 to 10 with a denominator of 100ths. Well picked. 20/100 is the correct answer. If cost of 1 egg is 250 res, then what will the cost of 3 eggs? On track, 750 ras is the correct answer. Choose the correct standard form for 14 and 500ths. Excellent choice. 1405 is the right answer. What is the value of 4 and 3/10ths written as a decimal? Good job. Your answer, 4.3, works well here. Which of the following is 4.5 when rounded to the nearest tenth? You chose 4.52 and it is correct. Which of the following decimals is the largest? 0.6, 0.9, 0.2. Correct. 0.9 is the right answer. Name the correct number of dollars, dimes and pennies in 6.82. Right again. $6, 8 dimes, 2 pennies is a valid answer. Write this decimal as either a fraction or a mixed number, 0.73. Nice selection. 7/3100 is the correct and valid answer. Which decimal has the greatest value? 0.612, 0.627, 0.60, 0.06? Smart pick. 0.67 is the correct choice. Which number shows 83 hundredths in standard form? Smart move. 0.83 is an accurate answer. Which decimal becomes 7.8 when rounded to the nearest tenth? Bravo. 7.81 is the answer. An egg costs 5 res. How much does 1.5 dozen cost? Great thinking. 90 is the right choice. What is the decimal for the word form below? 8/10ths. Sharp thinking. 0.8 is the right choice. Add the following decimals together. 8.732 plus 5.3 plus 6.47. Valid point. 19.829 is true. Which fraction has the same value as the decimal 0.72? You're right. 72/100 is the correct answer. Round the decimal 3.257 to the nearest hundredth place. Clear logic. Your choice 3.26 is sound and 100% true. Choose the correct standard form for 1 and 6/10ths. You chose 1.6, and it is correct. In the number 275.3, what digit is in the tenths place? Nice work. You chose 3, and it is correct. Which of the following decimal number is the smallest? Good job. Your answer, 0.098, works well here.
How would the fraction 4/5/100 be written as a decimal?
You got it. Your choice 0.45 is right. Which of the decimals is equivalent to 50? Great job. 0.5 is the accurate answer. Which digit shows the tenths place value in 52345? Nicely done. 3 is a solid answer. How would the decimal 0.8 be written as a fraction? On track. 810 is the correct answer.
How would this decimal point 3 be written in word form?
Correct. 3/10 is the right answer. Write 6 and 33/100ths as a decimal. Smart pick. 6/3 is the correct choice. Round the number to the nearest whole number. 14.708. Solid response. 15 is a valid choice. Which of the following is not equal to the others? Excellent. 0.02 is a brilliant choice. What is 6 and 5/10 written as a decimal? Right choice. 6.5 is the best answer. The decimal 0.74 is written in word form as. Good thinking. A 74/100ths is the right answer. Which number below has a 9 in the tenths place? Excellent choice. 196 is the right answer.
Which digit is in the hundredths place on 2345?
Nice selection. 5 is the correct and valid answer. The best way to write 9.7 in word form is dash. Bravo! 9 and 7/10 is the answer. The standard unit of measurement of length is? Exactly. Meter makes sense and it is right choice. What numbers are to the right of the decimal? Great thinking. Fractions is the right choice. Which number has a 2 in the hundredths place? Well reasoned. 0.02 is the correct choice. Round the number to the nearest tenth, 25.362. Strong choice, 25/4 is the right answer. What is 24/100ths written as a decimal?
Correct response. 0.24 is the most accurate answer.
Length of a handkerchief can be measured in. Well done. Centimeter is the right choice. Divide 68.1 grams of sugar among 3 people. 22.7 is an accurate answer. What is the word form of the decimal 0.85? Right again. 85/100ths is a valid answer. What is the value of 510 in decimal form? Well picked. 0.5 is the correct answer. Which answer is the same as 3/5200ths?
Perfect. 3.52 is the correct choice.
Write 2 to 10 as hundredths in fraction form.
You chose 20/100th, and it is correct. Subtract the following decimals, 15.312 plus 72. Excellent choice. 2.38 is the right answer. Express the decimal 0.7 in expanded form.
Great job. 710 is the accurate answer.
What should be added to 3250 to get 50?
Solid response. 1750 is a valid choice. 1/10 of a centimeter is called dash. Good job. Your answer, Wamem, works well here. Tell the value of the red digit in 5.75. Valid point. 5/100ths is true. What is the value of the red digit? 8792. Correct response. 9/10 is the most accurate answer. Convert the fraction to a decimal 0.5100. You got it. Your choice 0.51 is right. 5 meters 60 centimeter can be written as. Exactly. 5.60f makes sense and it is right choice.
Which fraction is equivalent to 40 dodecahundreds?
Sharp thinking. 410 is the right choice.
Which number is equal to 7/10?
On track, 0.7 is the correct answer. What is this decimal in word form? 0.72.
You're right. 72 hundredths is the correct answer.
Choose the correct word form for 0.08.
Right again. 0 and 8 hundredths is a valid answer. How is 52500 written as a decimal? Great thinking. 5.25 is the right choice. Find the sum of 2 to the 100 plus 20 by 100 plus 2 to the 10. 4 to the 100 is the correct choice. Round 3.789 to the nearest hundredth. Clear logic. Your choice 3.79 is sound and 100% true.
Which number has the greatest value?
Smart move. 6,000 is an accurate answer.
Which decimal comparison is correct?
Excellent. 0.643 is a brilliant choice. What is 0.4 written as a fraction?
Nice selection. 4 to 100 is the correct and valid answer.
Which number is in the tenths place?
Smart pick. Zo is the correct choice.
Which is another way to write 90/10?
Well done. 90 to 100 is the right choice. Which fractions are not equivalent? Right choice. 9 to 100 and 90 to 10 is the best answer. 0 and 6/10 looks like dash. Nicely done. 0.6 is a solid answer. What place value is the 6 in 0.06?
Bravo. Hundredths is the answer.
Which is not equal to 4/10.
Correct. 0.04 is the right answer.
Round 47 and 41 to the nearest tenth.
Strong choice. 47.9 is the right answer.
Select the equation that is true.
Well picked. 1/70, 100, 1.76 is the correct answer.
Pick an equivalent decimal for 200.
Good thinking. 4.2 is the right answer.
32 hundredths, 10 hundredths equal 2.
Well reasoned. 0.22 is the correct choice.
What is 1/100 as a decimal? Nice work. You chose 125 and it is correct. Can also be written like dash.
Nice work. You chose 7 to 100 and it is correct.
Hundredths plus 13 hundredths equal 2. Great job. 1.3 is the accurate answer.
Dash 45 is written like dash.
Good thinking. 45 hundredths is the right answer. 65 hundredths equal to dash.
Excellent. 0.65 is a brilliant choice.
Write 23/110 as a decimal. Correct response. 23.1 is the most accurate answer.
Convert 70/10 equal to dash 100.
You're right. $7/100 is the correct answer.
3/10 plus 4 hundredths equal to.
Correct. Zuthi4 is the right answer. Which statement is true? Well reasoned. 9 to A5 to 9.8 is the correct choice.
What is 50/100 equal to?
Solid response. So 50 is a valid choice. 38 hundredths 2/10 equal to. Right again. 0.19 is a valid answer.
9 and 9/10 plus 1 and 8/10.
Smart pick. 11.7 is the correct choice.
45 cemebs can be written as
On track. 0.4 gram is the correct answer.
Is 10,100 equal to 5010?
strong choice. Yes is the right answer.
Rupee 05 is equal to
Excellent choice. 5 paisa is the right answer.
How do you write 30 of hundreds?
Bravo. 0.30 is the answer.
3 tenths plus 4 tenths equal to 0.7 is true. Compare point A5 and point A.
Clear logic. Your choice is sound and 100% true.
Which pair are equal?
Right choice.
Zala 09 and 9100 is the best answer. Compare 0.22.
Sharp thinking is the right choice.
Pennies are like dash. Nice selection. Hundredths is the correct and valid answer.
How do you say zopmo?
Good job. Your answer 42 hundredths works well here.
Compare 0.33.
Great thinking is the right choice.
Ours 110 is equal to.
You got it. Your choice 10 paisa is right.
Compare 1.5 and 1.4.
Well done. Chor is the right choice.
Compare 6 and 7 spons.
Nicely done. Chor is a solid answer.
Half starts equal to dash.
Well picked. 50 is the correct answer.
3m 45 sem equal to a dash m.
Perfect. 345 is the correct choice.
24 is equal to 04.
Exactly. 0.01 makes sense and it is right choice.
What is 3.8?
You chose 29.6 and it is correct.
Nice exo 1 equal to dash.
Smart move 0.97 is an accurate answer.
Choice 4 tens.
On track. 4 tenths is the correct answer.
50.1 equal to dash. Sharp thinking. 5.2 is the right choice.
6 mem equal to dash to mem.
Nice selection. 0.6 is the correct and valid answer.
16x10 equal to dash.
You're right. 160 is the correct answer. X dash equal to 68.2.
You chose 0.1 and it is correct.
Equal to dash x 325.
Excellent choice. 0.01 is the right answer.
X 100 equal to dash.
Smart move. 450 is an accurate answer. Is equal to.
Clear logic. Your choice 0.1 is sound and 100% true.
0.1 equal to.
Bravo. 1.4 is the answer.
Plus 20,100 equal to. Valid point. 67100 is true.
Plus 18 to 100 equal to. Smart pick 78,100 is the correct choice.
Plus 5100 equal to.
Well reasoned. 35,100 is the correct choice.
Plus 100 equal to. Good thinking. 30,100 is the right answer. NZ form. Well done is the right choice. 4. Solid response. True is a valid choice.
Plus 68. Right again. 70,100 is a valid answer. Plus 29,100. Great job. 49100 is the accurate answer.
4.
Strong choice is the right answer.
Plus 0.05 equal to.
Correct. 1.04 is the right answer.
Plus 73. Nicely done. 1.23 is a solid answer. Plus to 4 equal to.
Nice work. You chose 0.8 and it is correct.
Plus.
Right choice. 105 is the best answer.
Plus.
Exactly. 0.65 makes sense and it is right choice.
6 equal to.
You got it. Your choice 0.28 is right.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
Excellent. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is a brilliant choice.